Hey everybody, what's up? Hooray here again, and we are back in Planet Coaster in Fantasyland. And take a look at this view, isn't this amazing? Now it's finally starting to actually look like a theme park and not just a bunch of facades in a grass field anymore, right? So this is really nice. First of all, of course, I hope you liked the time lapse. Let's talk what I've actually done. Talk about what I've actually done. English language and stuff. So, as you can see in the time lapse, I have been working on the entire plaza. I've been doing the path first. Remember before I was still routing the path around and through this corridor here into the Jester Dance, the only ride that was really there and connected at the time. Mainly because I wanted it to stay out of the way of the entrance and stuff, which worked perfectly actually. It worked exactly as I intended it to do. So started to do the path first, and as it always is with the paths in Planet Coaster, you can't really do like one big massive plaza unless you do like a grid, but this wasn't an option here because I had to have all of these different angles. So I couldn't have this one big plaza without having gaps in the path. And if you take a look in the middle of the time lapse, you can see it, right? So obviously I did the thing that everybody does basically, and I filled up the gaps with scenery and whatnot. So, you know, over here we have like this cart here and this kind of stuff, all of these little scenery pieces that are like just hiding all of the gaps in the plaza, and this just makes it look like just one big plaza, even though it's just a bunch of paths with gaps in between. I also took the opportunity to have like seating areas with benches here, also like this picnic area here. This one is actually my favorite so far, even though it looks kind of unassuming, but it actually has benches hidden inside of it, so people can actually sit on this, and they do. Obviously now they're not doing it, because why would they do it for the video, right? But they do it, I have seen them do it, so that's great, and it works. In the middle I've built the carousel here. And this has multiple reasons. First of all, it made it easier to just build the plaza, because this way there was just this massive hole in the middle that was just there because, you know, that's where the carousel is, right? So that made it easier to build the entire plaza. Just having this hole here, being able to have this hole here, just made it easier. And it still looks like one big plaza, even though, you know, there's a big hole in the middle. But the second reason was actually theming wise. I just wanted to have it here because from the inside it just blocks your view to the outside a bit, right? Like looking through the entrance, there's the outside. And there I kind of wanted to have it a bit more blocked out for people. Now there will actually be like trees in the front here, which I haven't built yet, that will further block your view to the outside. This is mostly to, you know, keep people engaged and keep people immersed in the park and not having them see the outside world that much, right? And in that way it just works. And also it's just nice to have it in the center of the of this plaza here. I think it just looks amazing. I really like it. So that is that. It was actually I like how geometric it is with all of the fencing here and the plants in between. This is again obviously just to mask the gap between the queue line and the path on the other side. Unfortunately I couldn't make it a perfect circle because here where the entrance is, it had to come out a bit further just because Planet Coaster paths stuff, right? So if you look at it from the top and you really look at it, you can see that it bulges out here a little bit, but I think it's fine. Same thing here with the entrance. The entrance just had to come out a bit, the queue entrance that is. So I had to push it out here a bit. It's a bit annoying, but you know, I would have preferred it to be a perfect circle, but it's fine, right? You don't really see it when you're not really looking for it anyway. So yeah, you can see I actually use these planters to hide the queue entrance things. If I go over here, these stupid things here, I hit them with these planter boxes here. Works pretty well. And then that over here, whoops, hello lag. Over here I built the gift shop. These are just all of the different souvenir shops here, and I built around all of this queue. Over here you can see I built this like sort of AC unit. The problem that I was running into is that there's this little building up here, this building and the thing down here, this like balcony thing. And this was actually jutting into the building here. And that obviously didn't fly, right? I couldn't leave it as that was. But I was thinking like, theming wise, it didn't make sense to put anything there. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna say they had an AC unit there that they kinda couldn't really theme up, they couldn't really hide. So there's no AC unit there, which is really just to hide the intersection between the buildings. But it's an AC unit, right? Then we have the food store here, the food shop. With a bunch of picnic benches here and food stalls here. It's nothing special. I may actually add some theming in the future, I'm not quite sure. But overall it works out pretty well. And then in front of it we have more picnic areas here. Again, hiding the gap is this other seating area here. And more scenery hiding gaps. And another one of my favorite bits is this little playground thing here. Because this is actually a really tiny gap if you compare it to early in the time-lapse. This is actually just a very thin gap, basically where the actual climbing thing here is. And there is actually paths underneath most of it, so people can and do actually walk across the playground here, which makes it feel just that bit more realistic. You know, having the people actually walk here and sitting on the benches, even towards the playground. I just love it. It's so cool, and it just makes things look a lot more realistic, right? So yeah, that is basically that. Obviously, I integrated the toilet in the back here. There's this backstage door here, and integrated all of that. Whoops, I'm sorry about that. Obviously, I now also connected the Jester Dance properly, and I also collected Elaine's potion mixer here properly. That thing still doesn't have any interior theming. That is still to come, but it is connected, so that's great. Now, you can see that the back side here of the entrance plaza is not really finished yet. Here are still the unfinished facades from last episode. This will come in the next episode. Next episode, I'm definitely got plans to do some scenery here. I haven't planned too much. It's mostly just putting some wood here probably to make this queue line solid, right? So just putting some wood walls here, and then have the rest just be basically mostly just plants, just flowers, right? Just some pretty flower beds and stuff like that. And that is that, right? I'm gonna talk in detail about this in the next episode when I've actually finished it. But that's the idea, just having a bunch of flowers here. And then I also want to finish this up, finish all of these facades up. This is obviously gonna be filled in, like with some sort of dirt stuff, whatever. And then I want to theme these buildings here. I want to have these have a bit more of a whimsical theme than the entrance plaza itself. Be more of a bit like fairy houses kind of theme. Just because, why not? That's the plan there. So that's the plan for next episode. Finishing the station here, putting a bunch of flowers here, building the bridge here, and then also building out, finishing these facades here, building this out, so that this is also properly done. Right, one thing that I also want to talk about, which I kind of talked about last episode, but it's this building here. Now we have the actual corridor that will eventually lead into the pirate area. And I also now put the staff building here. This is now a proper permanent place for the staff building. Yeah. You better cheer for the great working conditions that I'm giving you. Anyway, so this is now also pretty nicely done, and the path will go to the pirate themed area over here. Then this path will of course go to the magical forest theme area, which I will do next. And then over here is basically the last thing I want to talk about. This is this like shooting ride. You can see I have not themed it all yet. I just had these two targets down as some testing. But this is called Dread Chase, and the idea is that, I don't know, this building is infected by dreads that are like being a pest or whatever, and you, the visitors, have to like you know, shoot them down, some kind of that, something like that. Words. But that's the plan here. I think that will be pretty cool. Hopefully, might be a bit tedious to actually do all of these corridors, but we'll see about that. But that's the plan there. And then we will have a facade here, probably one more building, or maybe even two. And then it will go into more like a natural rock and forest facade, like over here, when it goes into the magical forest area. So yeah, that is basically everything for this video. So as I said, next video I will focus on the backside here. I want to finish that up. Basically want to, you know, like round out the plaza here to have it like have these bits finished. Then in the episode after that, we will focus on the front here, do the front plaza here, as well as the street and whatnot. And after that, after all of that, we'll be finally switching over to the magical forest area and finally doing some, you know, whimsical magical forest fairy kind of theming stuff. And also, with that not being the entrance area, it will also finally have the first like coasters and whatnot, right? All of that. So that is that. Let's find a nice view. Let's just go back here. Let's just go like this. I just like this view. Even though the train station here isn't even finished, this already looks really cool in my opinion. So with that said, that's the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And see you next time. Goodbye.